I want to quickly talk to you about Kanban, and we want to really have a clear idea about Kanban inventory system and how does it work? How do you use it to actually increase efficiency this year? So here are the generalities I want you to really pay attention to. When you think about Kanban, I want you to think about an inventory management system that involves a set of signals that indicate when stock should be replenished. Okay, and it's one of those things where you want to replenish stock at a very in a very methodical way, because when you think about it, maintaining appropriate inventory levels can be a constant challenge for retail business owners. Okay, because excess inventory incurs storage costs and potential waste, while insufficient stock can lead to a costly stockhouse. You do not want to have either scenario. So strategies like lean manufacturing can help you maintain minimum inventory levels. But actually, finding that sweet spot is often easier said than done. Okay, but the good thing is Kanban can really help you find a solution real fast. So let me go a little more granular here. What is Kanban? What is Kanban inventory management? So Kanban, I mean, some people say Kanban, some people say Kanban, but I'll say Kanban. So Kanban inventory management is a system used to manage inventory levels and production flow by only restocking when necessary. It relies on a series of colored cards to indicate progress through the production process and signal the need to replenish inventory. So it's kind of similar to just in time, if you will. Okay. So the Kanban methodology originated within the Toyota production system in Japan in the 1940s, when industrial engineer Taishi Ono introduced Kanban visual cards in Japanese to actually signal when and how much inventory should be replenished. So it was a pull-based system where items were restocked only as needed. And so this allowed Toyota to maintain minimum inventory levels, cut waste, avoid excessive lead times, improve manufacturing efficiency, and let customer demand drive production. So what are the rules of the Kanban system here? Well, the Kanban system is actually based on core principles that help optimize processes, minimize waste, and improve manufacturing efficiency. So there are three primary Kanban inventory guidelines. You want to limit work in progress, you want to maintain minimum inventory levels, and you want to use visual cues all the time. When I speak about work in progress refers to the tasks, items, or activities actively being worked on but not completed. So limiting work in progress is a fundamental principle in the Kanban system because it prevents overburdening the production line, reduces multitasking, and promotes focused work. You also want to maintain minimum inventory levels because excess inventory ties up valuable capital and resources. So let me talk to you about the types of Kanban cards to actually consider in your operation this year. So you have production Kanban, you have withdrawal Kanban, you have express Kanban, and you have emergency Kanban. By the way, again, Kanban stands for visual card, okay? So depending on the need and context, you can use several types of Kanban systems. So let's first talk about production Kanban. So a production Kanban is a type of a Kanban card that informs workers in the initial stages of the production process which items to begin manufacturing. For example, if workers on the downstream process for assembling a phone need additional memory chips, they can send a production Kanban back to workers in the earlier stages to collect or assemble the necessary parts. So that's for production Kanban. You also have withdrawal Kanban. So a withdrawal Kanban card is actually a visual cue that prompts movements of parts to downstream processes to actually replenish inventory items. And when done properly, it can really help you streamline your logistics, streamline your supply chain, and also ease the burden. Not even ease the burden, reduce the burden when it comes to upstream or downstream operations. So, in a hypothetical cell phone factory, receiving a production Kanban indicating a need for more memory chips will actually prompt workers to assemble the necessary parts. Then they will attach a withdrawal Kanban when the batch of memory chips is ready to be moved downstream by material handlers, right? That's what I was telling you a little earlier when I said you are actually streamlining the supply chain. So, in still in our hypothetical example, once the downstream workers receive the parts, they remove the withdrawal Kanban. So this is actually it's actually a temporary fix or a temporary method, if you will, a temporary strategy to actually streamline the supply chain. So when you think about production Kanban versus withdrawal Kanban, you got to really ask yourself, where in the production line are the workers actually subject to the Kanban instructions? Are they upstream? Are they downstream? So this will help you decide whether you should go with a production Kanban card or a withdrawal Kanban card. You also have express Kanban and you also have emergency Kanban. So it's one of I'm just going through the types of Kanban cards that you might encounter in your operations. I mean, not encounter, you might implement in your operations. So when you think about express Kanban, basically what happens here is that you are directly or indirectly instilling an extra layer of urgency. So workers on a downstream process send an express Kanban to workers on an upstream process when there is an urgent shortage of parts that must be addressed immediately, right? It's not about addressing the shortage 24 hours from now or 2 days from now or 1 month from now. No, it has to be addressed immediately. So that's when you send an express Kanban. So by addressing unforeseen shortages quickly, an express Kanban can prevent a manufacturing slowdown, especially in industries that are very sort of they're very if you have an industry where a shortage can really shut down a whole supply chain or a whole operation, you want to be extra careful here. Then you also have an emergency Kanban. So emergency Kanban are additional visual signals for issues that require immediate attention, such as equipment breakdowns or defective parts, right? And an emergency Kanban can be used to prompt expedited production or replenishment if, for example, a batch of parts turns out to be defective. It's one of those things where if you have let's say you have a recall, that you have a recall, you have to be really fast. You have to be really proactive. So an emergency Kanban can really help here. Whether you contact the upstream workers or the downstream workers, having that element, that extra element of urgency, can really help fast. Now, in practice, sometimes companies use both express Kanban and emergency Kanban cards simultaneously. It depends on the kind of situation you're trying to really fix, the kind of scenario, the kind of worst case scenario you are trying to avoid. Okay. Let me give you a few best hacks here, a few tips for implementing the Kanban system that's actually great for your particular operations. The first thing you want to do is you want to visualize the production cycle. You got to have a clear idea about your own company's production cycle. You got to really look into your manufacturing processes, getting more granularity into what works and what doesn't work. So visualize the production cycle. So the Kanban process is all about visual cues, right? Colored cards. So whether you use physical Kanban cards or electronic Kanban systems, try to visually represent the entire manufacturing process, breaking it down into stages or steps. And you got to really have a clear idea what's upstream and what is downstream. So Kanban signals can help you and your employees visualize the entire production and replenishment cycle. Just as important, the visual signals they serve as a trigger for actions such as production or replenishment at the appropriate time in the production cycle. So that's really cool. And so after visualizing the production cycle, you want to standardize processes as much as possible. You want to really, really automate processes as much as possible. And automation starts with standardization. So, standardized processes. In other words, you want to clearly define rules and policies. You want to clearly set rules and policies that are fundamental to the success of the Kanban system. Because by having rules and policies, you are reducing confusion, you are creating alignment among team members, and you are promoting consistent and predictable inventory flow. And you want to have that consistency over time. Okay. You want to establish standardized processes and outline roles and responsibilities, for instance, who does what, when, and how. And make sure your business's policies are transparent and adaptable, allowing for both structure and flexibility when needed. And you want to monitor the production flow. So monitor the movement of items or tasks through each stage of the production cycle, because what you want to have extra transparency so that you are able to identify and address sticking points, idle time, and any other inefficiencies that may be slowing down the manufacturing process. You may even extend the Kanban system up the supply chain to the supplier. Kanban signals for external suppliers indicate when you need them to produce and deliver more inventory items. You also want to limit work in progress. I think I said this to you before, but that this is really, really critical to limit. Sometimes you hear work in progress or work in process. So WIP, this is actually those two terms mean the same thing. Okay, so in terms of limiting work in progress, what you want to do is you want to set a maximum limit for the number of items or tasks in progress at each stage of the manufacturing process. So well, and the best way for you to really evaluate that, you want to consider demand and your team's capacity, right? It's all about seeing the resources you have at your disposal: human resources, technology resources, supply chain resources, and so on and so forth. And you will likely need to experiment to find optimal production flow. And you want to do this over a reasonable amount of time to actually study trends and patterns. You also want to encourage collaboration, because see, the thing is, when you think about Kanban, you got to think about forging a relationship among all the people who get involved, right? Upstream or downstream. So the Kanban system consequently requires team members to rely on one another, as each Kanban task is an important part of the lean manufacturing production cycle. So you want to encourage collaboration and solicit actually feedback by, let's say, from time to time. I mean, you don't have to do this like all the time, but from time to time, you want to invite team members to identify, let's say, issues, propose solutions, or implement changes. See, the thing is, if you empower your team, that's kind of cool, because you are telling them, hey, listen, the success or failure of this Kanban strategy will rest on your shoulders. Okay, so it's one of those things where you are incorporating your teams into the whole equation, so that you can really beef up your chances of accomplishing a wonderful Kanban transition. You also want to aim for continuous improvement. I mean, the whole thing about Kanban is based on continuous improvement. Okay, even once you have established an effective Kanban system, you have to be open to ideas to further optimize processes. You just never know. And by the way, your company is not a static a static, I would say, construct, right? It's constantly evolving. So because of that, you have to be open to new ideas, new strategies. So whether your supply chains are experiencing issues, or let's say you receive feedback from employees managing inventory flow, there are always ways to improve manufacturing efficiency, either in the short run or in the long run. Let me talk to you about benchmarking here. So, what are the benefits of implementing the Kanban inventory management system in your operation? The thing is that the Kanban inventory management system made a huge difference in improving Toyota's production process, and has since been employed in many successful business ventures. So we are talking about a system that has been able to stand the test of time for the past 50 plus years. That's a lot of years. I mean, not even 50 years. You are looking at 70 years minimum. So there are three main benefits of implementing Kanban in your operations this year. You have optimized inventory levels, you have increased efficiency, and you have better workflow visibility. Let me break it down for you. When I speak about optimized inventory levels, Kanban optimizes inventory levels by making sure inventory items are only restocked when needed. This prevents excess inventory from piling up and driving up holding costs. And you know the holding costs can really can really be high in certain industries, right? You also have increased efficiency. So what happens here is that when you use the Kanban system, you are able to boost efficiency either directly or indirectly because the system focuses on producing for customer demand. So demand is driving production. Customers are driving production, and that's what happened with Toyota. That's what they did back in the 50s. So production and withdrawal Kanban cars keep parts or inventory items moving as needed. So this increased efficiency translates to a shorter lead times, cost savings, and increased adaptability. You also have better workflow visibility. So the visual signals used in the Kanban system show that they actually show what tasks need to be done and the progress made in completing them. And this transparency and this transparency across the board allows every kind of teams, okay, every kinds of team rather, to collaborate more effectively. And also the system makes it easier to identify sticking points. And that's what you want. You want to have this idea of what works and what doesn't work. Now, there are beside the three benefits, you do have actually some challenges. So implementing Kanban can be worthwhile for many businesses, but it may not be appropriate for every successful business venture. So determining appropriate minimum inventory levels and working process limits can be challenging, especially in industries with varying demand or unreliable supply chains. So, if relative stability in those areas is possible for your business, slowly transition to the Kanban system, communicate clearly with the employees, and actually expect some trial and error. So, let me give you a little bit of extras here. When you think about the Kanban inventory systems, how does it work? How can it help you increase efficiency? It's important to understand that you want to have in mind a certain illustration. Let me give you one illustration here. Let me give you one example of the Kanban method. So a clothing store, let's use a clothing store. So a clothing store may monitor its shoe inventory with Kanban boards that indicate which styles and sizes are in stock or on display. As shoes are sold, their Kanban cards move from stock to sold, and low stock triggers buyers to order more inventory. And what's the difference between just in time and Kanban? A lot of people use those two terms interchangeably, but there are slight differences. So, just in time manufacturing and the Kanban system are related concepts in lean manufacturing, but they have distinct focuses. So, JIT, just in time, is a production strategy that aims to produce the right quantity of items at the right time to meet customer demand. Kanban is actually a visual management system that uses signals, Kanban cards, to control the flow of work or materials. Kanban can be an effective tool within just-in-time manufacturing. Now, are there benefits for using digital Kanban cards? Yes, of course. You can still use the physical one, the paper one. That's not a problem. But hey, listen, if you want to digitize your operation, hey, go ahead and use digital cards. Digital Kanban cards, actually Kanban boards rather, they offer advantages like real-time updates, remote accessibility, and project metrics. They can be a great tool for adapting the traditional Kanban system to modern work environments. And also, you can actually apply the Kanban system to various industries and sectors, okay? This is a system that's highly adaptable and can be applied to various industries and sectors Beyond manufacturing, visual signals, production flow optimization, and waste reduction are versatile and effective across various contexts. So here's a quote. On today's conversation, I spoke to you about the Kanban inventory system. How does it work? How can it help you increase efficiency? So I gave you actually the generalities, the typology, the different types of Kanban. You have production Kanban, withdrawal Kanban, express Kanban, and emergency Kanban. I gave you the best hacks, the benchmarking strategy you need to really implement this year, and the extras. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.